Rakesh Kaul of HSIL also joins in with his views. Rakesh, what is your own sense? How are you looking at the market currently? And do you see signs of a slowdown, or are things like the momentum that we've seen is likely to sustain?
Look, as far as the overall market size for the home furniture and home furnishing is concerned, I see a steady growth of about CAGR of about 8% for the next 2 odd years, next 2 to 3 years. And I really don't see a major slowdown in these home furnishings particularly. And we have certain categories like curtains, upholstery and carpet, which are seeing a much faster growth at 10% than the industry average of CAGR of 8%. And we expect the industry to be around $6 billion by 2021.
All right. And what about HSIL? How have input costs moved for your company? Because we do understand that there has been an uptrend come by in a lot of input costs. Would you be a little worried with respect to that?
Look, as far as our retail business is concerned, we do have a mix of both imports and domestic as well. So as far as the import is concerned, there has been slight upward movement in costs. But I think overall the market sentiments and the growth in consumerism will, over a period of time, negate this effect. So we're looking positively forward to growing this retail business much faster.
Okay. What is the outlook as far as profitability goes in terms of margins?
Look, at this point in time, for the next quarter, since this quarter, we are seeing a downward trend in terms of the dollar prices. So we're looking forward to having better margins in the foreseeable future.
Rakesh, would also want to understand, do you export at all, and if so, or import for that matter? And if so, what is going to be your hedging strategy against the currency?
Look, as far as our current business is concerned, retail business and home furnishings, as I told you, there's import as well for certain of our, particularly the furniture items. But again, that's a lesser part of the overall business which we have. So we're more dependent on the domestic inputs. So I think from that perspective, we don't really see much of an issue with us as such, in the retail, as far as the retail business is concerned.
Right. Rakesh, how are you seeing the current competitive environment at this point of time? You have a lot of players in the organized sanitary ware space, and not to mention, of course, competition from the unorganized space as well, that has very nicely been able to sort of comply with everything with respect to GST. How would you look at the entire competitive environment right now?
I think the competitive environment at this point of the time has been as it has been before. So while I look at our growth in terms of our retail business to be catching up much faster, primarily from the fact, because, if you see, we have more increase in disposable income of young consumers, and we are also seeing a proliferation of nuclear families, and also, the government policy of affordable housing to all by 2022. So we are seeing these are the trends which will increase the overall market, and also the proliferation of e-commerce in India, which has reduced the time for the replacement for products, is also encouraging companies which are in the retail business to look forward to better times.
All right, fair enough. On that note, Rakesh, thanks so much then for joining in on ET Now, giving us a perspective on something I think the market was watching out for. What exactly is the on-ground situation? We did have another company, Shankara, essentially flagging off some concerns with respect to waning demand. So it was important to get in a perspective from other home improvement companies. We had sanitary ware maker, HSIL, we had plywood maker, Century Ply, and that's the word coming in from both of these companies. Okay, markets, sub the 10,500 mark. We're just about hovering around that level, but look at the gashes. It's close to a 200-point knock witnessed at this point of time on the screen. 10,500.